story. A question I get asked all the time is, what happened to all your belongings from Germany? I lived there for 4 years. I had a big beautiful flat there. Lots of people watch my flat tour video and I get asked all the time, what happened to all your stuff? Are you sending it to New Zealand? What's going on? So here's the story. Okay, it was like 5 years ago or something. I've talked about this before, so I'll be succinct. I left Germany and I was promised a work visa in Edinburgh in Scotland. So I'd arranged to move all my stuff over to Scotland, and at the last minute the employer withdrew the offer, saying that they were losing money and couldn't afford it at the time, maybe in the future. And I'm like, okay, I understand, but also that sort of ruins my life a little bit. If you're familiar with Scotland, this is going to make you laugh. I had looked for a lot of flats around Edinburgh, but they were all really small or super expensive or both. I was getting so stressed, so exhausted. The closest I could get to Edinburgh was Paisley, which is miles away. It's like to the west of Glasgow. No offense if you're from Paisley, but you'll probably understand it's not a great place. There's a lot of unsavory characters, there's a lot of crime, but it is very cheap, so it's got that going for it. So I got this flat and I moved all my things into it. When I left Germany, I gave away or sold a lot of stuff. Gave away lots, like mostly large pieces of furniture, like my dining table and my couch, which is a shame because it was really comfortable. I don't have a couch here, by the way. Everything in my kitchen. So I moved all the stuff in here, and that was like 5 years ago, right? So I thought, well, you know, whatever. As a New Zealander, you can come to the UK for 6 months without a visa. So my plan was to kind of spend 6 months of the year here, spend 6 months in New Zealand, just sort of go back and forth and have my life that way. I was here for a few weeks and then COVID happened, so I wasn't here for 3 years. For 3 years during COVID, remember how no one was allowed to travel? Like, you couldn't get in or out of either country. They closed all the borders. Basically this place just sat here gathering dust, and like the second that travel restrictions were lifted, we like hoofed it over here, and in that time it got burgled. I've made a whole other video about that. Mr. Al and I came here for 6 months in 2022. We wanted to come back the following year, but we couldn't afford it, so it's been 2 years and now I'm back here again. Even the like 6 months here there thing, A, doesn't work because 1, I can't afford that shit, and 2, it was a different time. My situation now is different. I have 2 children, which I didn't have before. If it was just me or just me and Mr. Al, you know, this place is really small. It's quite comfortable for 1 adult and a child, or 2 adults. More than that, it is very crowded. So basically that's it. For the last 5 years or so, all my belongings from Germany have been in this little flat in Paisley in Scotland. The cost of getting everything to New Zealand is monstrous. Even having gotten rid of so much, it was basically like a storage unit that I could stay in when coming here, but it's no longer useful that way because we now have the 2 children. It is not a good place for children. It is a terrible, shitty flat, and I am really sick of paying for it. Ironically, paying for this place has prevented me being able to come here. A lot of people think I'm rich. I wish I were, but I amn't. So that's that really. Everything that I had in Germany is now, and has been for the last 5 years or so, in Scotland in this flat. Basically my plan is now to clear it all out. I don't have much of a budget to get things back to New Zealand. I'm going to probably have to sell some things, again give away a lot of things. Yeah, it sucks. It's like I really want a home. Like, I just want all my things in one place and my family all together. As it is, Mr. Al and I currently are living in New Zealand. We rent a house there too. So I'm going to show you around. We're going to look at this place. Some people have said, oh, why don't you sublet, or why don't you let a friend live there when you're not there? It's like, I would not inflict this place on a person I like. It is terrible. It is not the worst flat I've ever lived in, but it's probably the 2nd worst flat. But it is a shithole. I mean, it is. I'll show you around. There's actually 2 front doors, and this one has no key to it. While I was away for 3 years, the lock got changed. I wasn't told, I wasn't given a key, and then I was told that there was no key, so it's like, oh, okay. If this door is closed while I'm out, I have to boot it open when I come back. Like, this is just the laziest, shittiest lock ever. My friendly knocker for greeting visitors. First, as you enter into this terrible place, this is the hallway which connects. Hey baby! There's no light in here, so it gets very, very dark. I have to keep this door locked at all times because it's so dodgy here. While Mr. L and I were here with Severine, this space was extremely cluttered and you couldn't move. I've managed to make some space. Whenever I do laundry, I hang it up in here, so that makes not a lot of space. Kind of a hallway slash laundry. This thing has been tripped over and knocked over so many times. Someone's coming to take it today, sadly. Night night. Monty doesn't have his own room, so all his stuff is in these drawers here. This is a room that barely qualifies as a kitchen. There's a storage cupboard and a phone to the front door that doesn't work. That room is my office slash wardrobe. There is my bedroom, and that is the bathroom. Firstly, this is the living room, and we have to be a wee bit quiet because Montrose is asleep at the moment. He sleeps in here. Severine also slept in here. So this is my little living room. It's a bit, like, random. I mean, it's sort of functional, but it's missing a few key pieces of furniture, like a couch. I do, however, have a challenge, so pretty much live on that, although it's not really an all-the-time piece of furniture. It has no choice. I still have this massive cupboard from Germany that I painted. Probably going to have to sell this for very cheap or give it away because it got quite badly damaged during the burglary. I have 3 dining chairs but no dining table, so they don't really get used. Everything's kind of in strange places. Like, this place is essentially a glorified storage facility, so I have this massive mirror like behind the chairs. And over here behind the shelf there are a couple of pictures on the wall just because there was really nowhere else to put them and I didn't want to keep them on the floor. Here is one of the remaining parts of my hand painted fireplace mantle that the movers smashed for me and then hid in the garden so I wouldn't find it. The cupboard is mostly full of toys now. Yeah, that's all full of toys. Lots and lots of children's books. This one down here is incense, nappies and more toys, candles, etc. Still got my miniature natural history museum in the centre. I'm terrified of packing all these things up because obviously they're pretty fragile. Because the cupboards in the kitchen are too small to fit plates or cups, up here it's all mugs and glasses, mostly bat-shaped or skull-shaped. Blood bags as well. Cupboard which is very broken. Down here is where all the plates and bowls are. Like a lot of things, I put these on the wall just to get them off the floor so they're a bit crooked and hidden behind the door. Here's my coffin-shaped guitar case from my guitar that got stolen. This cupboard got completely annihilated in transport, so I'm going to give that away for free or throw it out. Pretty much anything that's small and will fit into a suitcase I'm going to attempt to bring with me to New Zealand. This guy, one of my all-time favourite decorations. If I'd been staying here, I've got a whole lot of beautiful bat lace curtain swags and things that I would have been decorating the windows with, but this velvet bank is completely full of toys and baby change stuff. I had wanted to put a small round dining table here and would have done so if we were staying. Somebody sent us this ages ago. If that was you, thank you so much. Montrose actually really loves playing with it. Before anyone goes, all that black's not good for children, this room is usually just an explosion of rainbow coloured toys all over the place. When I first came here, this place was unbelievably foul. It was full of this heinous furniture and all this stuff left behind by the previous tenants. I think I've managed to make it kind of nice and relatively livable. Let's carry on and we shall leave him to his nap. This room is where all my clothes are and also where I do all my editing and stuff. I have a lot less space in here than I had at my flat in Germany. It's like a bit cluttered, a bit chaotic. The coat stand, which is totally full, is squashed in by the door of this room, which means you can't actually close the door of this room. So this flat was an alright size when it was just me. Right, so I had a room for my clothes and for working and a room to sleep in and a living room and blah blah, but I never actually got to spend any time living in it, and it really is not suitable for 2 adults. It's sort of okay for maybe 1 adult and 1 child, provided that that adult doesn't work from home and have an entire room just full of clothes and stuff. There's no light in this room. I can't reach the ceiling to change the light bulb, so there's just this little lamp here. This is obviously my desk and where all the magic happens. I use this whiteboard to organise my life and my brain. It's really good to have everything written down really big. Mr. Owl's computer and green screen and all my craft things are unceremoniously squashed into a corner. Here's a wee telephone table that I thought was just perfect size for Montrose to sit on. Painted it black and also painted the fabric black. If you want to see the wardrobe, I shall show you. Over here, this is all skirts. Those are all long skirts. I don't really do short skirts so much. I will be selling some of these things soon, which makes me very sad, but there we are. Hats and headpieces. Those are all my boleros and capelets. Underneath is all blouses, lovely blouses. There's a couple of baby things, and at the back that's all coats, long coats. More hats, a box of gloves, and various souvenirs of my life. A wee bit cluttered and chaotic. This is all dresses. This one is just for dresses. It's all kind of squashed in there. Up here there's veils and corsets and belts. Fancy neck pieces. Trousers, mostly shiny trousers. I don't really wear trousers much. A lot of this down here is Mr. Owl's stuff. The idea was that we were going to come back, and that's all long dustery things and cardigans. And over here we have blazers and jackets. Lots of them, all different materials. The whole room is strung with various accessories and doodads. I'm supposed to be moving most of these things to New Zealand, but like, when am I ever going to wear these things in New Zealand? Like, when? This is my bedroom. I love my bed. It's my favorite possession. It's very comfortable. It's really beautiful. It's really hard and it hurts a lot when you walk into it. I love this sheepskin. It's real. I brought it over from New Zealand because I thought it would look good on this bed, and it does. It's okay in here. It's a little bit random, a wee bit cluttered. I've thinned things down a lot. Here's some of my family and some frames with nothing in them. I have 2 of these boxes, and in them is blankets and pajamas and jerseys and mist. All my shoes are over here. It's been very sad having a broken foot lately and not being able to wear any of them. Dust. That tells the story in itself, doesn't it? Bags over there, and this is my makeup table. It got a bit battered and scuffed in transport, so I'm probably going to sell it for very cheap. Down below is where I keep my batteries. I don't have a problem. I can quit anytime I want. I'm just kidding. No, I can't. This cupboard over here has always been broken. I've never been able to open it, and I'm too scared to touch it. So it's mostly full of chandeliers, spare bedding, Mr. Owl stuff, bottled water because I don't trust the tap water here. This cupboard down here is actually broken. I won't take it off, but it's completely off its hinges. It's just sitting there. Also down here somewhere there's a great big hole in the wall which I have covered up. As you can see, there are no curtains. I have curtains, but I have never been able to get up there that high to put any up. And that's not great in the middle of summer when the sun comes up at about 4 in the morning, so have to sleep with an eye mask during summer. If I'd been able to stay in this country or wanted to stay in this flat, I would have put a chandelier in here. But unfortunately there's an ugly light which I can't reach, so I can't put new light bulbs into it, and it's just got one pathetic little orange light in it. Very dark in here most of the time. The bathroom has no door handle. This is the bathroom. It's generally pretty dark in here. It's terrible and narrow, but it is somewhat functional, so that's nice. It has a bath and the shower is okay. I had this cupboard, but it was too heavy for me to put on the wall, so Mr. Owl did it while he was here, and I am not looking forward to taking it down. Honestly, this is one of my all-time favorite possessions, is this skull toilet brush. It's so funny. Down here in this ugly wee nook is bubble baths. An easy way to make your home look nicer is to put things like bubble bath into crystal decanters. There's a nest of jackdaws that live just outside this window, so it's usually quite loud during the day. One guess what my favourite brand of hairstyling product is. Apart from the extremely cheap taps and fittings, the shittiest part of the bathroom is that the floor is rotting. One day someone's just gonna go through it. In here is just a wee storage space, which was so extremely full that you couldn't walk past here. When I came here, the gas was unusable, so there was no hot water or heating, so I had to get a new gas meter put in and a new power meter. I've cleared it out a lot, but you couldn't like get past here. It was just full. Last and most definitely the least is this room, which barely functions as a kitchen. The cooker has never worked, which according to a fireman who came in to install the smoke alarms is a very good thing, because having a gas cooker in a small unventilated space like this is extremely dangerous. The sink and the washing machine drain back and forth into each other. The only solution to this is to drain these things into a bucket. Can't use the oven. Basically, it's unbelievably shit and disgusting and barely functional. Let's get out of here. Well, now you've seen it. Tell me what you think. It's kind of random, I know. Like I said, it's basically a storage place that you can sleep in, right? That's about it, really. It served a purpose as being a place to keep my stuff. So yeah, now you have seen my paisley flat before I guess clear it up and get rid of it, and God knows. Hopefully that has satiated everybody's curiosity about what the hell has happened to all my stuff. Seriously, people ask me all the time, like all the time, if we could stay here in the UK, that would be ideal. If Mr. Owl or I could get a work visa to stay here, we would do it in a heartbeat. In general, there are just a lot more opportunities career-wise for both of us. There's better support for our daughter who has disabilities. I have a lot of friends here, he has friends here, so like if we could make it work somehow, that would be just completely amazing. But as it is, we're still in New Zealand, so I have no idea what's going to happen in the future, if anything. If you've not already subscribed to my lovely spooky channel, then please do so. We would love to have you here. And as always, take care of yourself, be nice to each other, and I will see you next time. Bye!